Do you ever feel
my goodness.
that you are too short? Well, for many young men, apparently, it's a serious concern, which is leading to a demand for cosmetic leg lengthening, and that's increasing. I'm astounded by it.
Well, thanks to advances in technology, you can now more easily add several inches to your height. But do you think it is a step too far? Christopher Pickens. We're going to speak to two people who know about all of this. We've got Craig Robbins on the line for us. He's a limb reconstruction surgeon, and Victor Egonu, who actually had the leg lengthening surgery. So very warm welcome to both of you. If I may start from a sort of surgeon standpoint in all of this, I mean, there is a danger, and certainly just, you know, as somebody who's coming to this completely new, I'd never heard of this until today. Is there a danger now that we are preying on people's insecurities and exploiting perhaps some of society's sort of superficial obsessions?
So that's a great question, and it's a pretty complicated answer. We're not actively seeking these patients. These patients are coming and finding us. They're doing their due diligence on the internet. And a lot of these patients, if not all of these patients, are coming to us and saying that, depending on their age, they've had 5, 10, 15, 20 years of having this sense that their height is not what they need to be to make their life more fulfilling and feel better about themselves. And we call this height dysphoria. So patients can have this height dysphoria that's limiting them in their self-confidence and their ability to participate with their peers. And after they have this procedure, should they choose to undergo this, that height dysphoria is greatly diminished or even gone. And they're living their life, their best life that they feel after they undergo this procedure.
OK, Victor, what's your story then? I mean, how tall were you? How tall are you? Why did you feel the need to do this?
So, Stephen, great question. So I actually got it done for a medical reason because I had one leg shorter than the other one. However, I started the platform Cyborg for Life. It's a YouTube channel to actually interview the men who do get this done cosmetically to gain inches in height. The primary reason they get it done is because of dating. They're trying to partner a relationship. And that's probably the number one reason they get it done. Statistics show that guys who are a few inches shorter below the average height for their given country are 75% more likely to be rejected by women. And if they're a few inches above average height, they're 90% more likely to be accepted. So I find that's one of the major reasons why they get it done.
It's fascinating. I was just reading in the British papers over the weekend a really unpleasant comment about our new Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak. He's quite a diminutive man, if I can put it that way. And I was reading just a total political story. And the comment was just thrown in there from a backbench Conservative MP saying, oh, you can tell that this Prime Minister has a growth problem, and I'm not just talking about the economy. And that's just considered an acceptable comment, and that's coming in a totally irrelevant sector, talking about politics there, he's not even a film star or anything. So is that something that, people encounter on a day-to-day basis, that it's OK to mock somebody because they're not tall? And that question to you, Victor.
Yeah, I think so. I think that these young guys, they're facing this ridicule when they go out into social, public events, holiday parties. A lot of them will actually refrain from going to these, social events because they feel so captivated by their height, their stature. So that's why they're putting in this large investment of money, time, physical effort to go through this demanding procedure to get these inches in height. And I can tell you from talking to several patients that with a resounding yes, that it does make a difference in their lives.
So what are you left with, Craig, in terms of, I mean, obviously you're getting a few more inches, but what are you left with in terms of rehabilitation, in terms of scarring, in terms of ongoing pain? I mean, it sounds like it's a very difficult procedure.
So the procedure is difficult mainly, and it's a time commitment. So for this procedure, the amount of time to obtain the length is related to how much length you're gaining. So an average patient coming to West Palm Beach will spend between 2 and 3 months with us. And during that time, they're gaining their length approximately 1 millimeter per day for a maximum total of 8 centimeters, which in standard is 3.1 inch. They come to us for that 3 months. They're doing daily physio with us, and then they return home. And over the next several months, as their bone heals, they return to their normal activities. And by about 9 to 12 months, depending on how much length they gain, you wouldn't be able to tell somebody walking down the street has had this surgery. They've recovered fully back to their normal activity. The scarring is very minimal. My partner and I, and my partner in particular, have developed techniques over several years or decades to make the scarring quite minimal. And it's a lot of surgery done through small scars. So it's a minimally invasive procedure, but it's maximally invasive in what we're actually doing through these small scars.
You can risk getting a limp, though, through doing this, can't you?
I'm sorry?
A limp when you walk.
Well, in theory, yes, that can. But what we pride ourselves on at our institute is safety always comes first, and the safety of the patient is paramount, and that comes before anything else, including the amount of total length that may be desired. So by staying with us for the entire duration of your lengthening, you're evaluated every day by our physiotherapists. We have a fantastic team between the surgeons, the clinical staff, the physical therapists, the administrators, the nursing, everyone you were talking about earlier. And we are all very keyed into the safety of the patients, not just related to the cosmetic side of these surgical procedures, but we have a whole host of orthopedic surgeons doing the whole breadth of types of surgery. So safety is our number one, regardless whether it's this cosmetic procedure or not. And it's important to note that this isn't just men. Probably 60% are men, which would leave 40% being women as well. And we have all ages ranging from early 20s to 50s.
Right.
And just very quickly, do you have to break the bone to do it? I mean, I don't know how quickly you can explain that, because we're really out of time, but I'm just trying to understand how you do that.
So the most common procedure we do is lengthening the femurs or the thigh bones. We can actually break the bone through just a small 1/4-inch, 6-millimeter incision, and we place a metal rod into the bone. So what you're looking at there is a picture of a shin bone. That's the tibia bone, and the fibula bone is the smaller bone next to it. And if you could see that small gap in the bone, that's where the lengthening occurred. And that's just showing how the bone heals and returns back to 100% normal. After the procedure and after the healing, your bone is just as strong as it was before the procedure.
Fascinating.
Okay. Craig and Victor, thank you both very much indeed.
Thank you.
It's interesting. Rishi Sunak's 5'7".
5'7".
I mean, I think that's all right.
It's fine, but I'm 5'8", and when I wear high heels, and I met him, I'm quite a lot taller than him. But I think it's terrible, the prejudice people have against shorter men. But let me know, what do you think about that? What do you think about that procedure? I actually really do believe if something makes you feel better, why not? And if it's without risk or there's good evidence that it works, then why not?
Let us know what you think. GBViews at gbnews.uk.